So yes, welcome once again for the Thursday evening Q&A session. And I see already there are around 95, it's increasing, so it's 100 now. Yes, as I've been telling, it's a very great opportunity that all of us come together twice in a week. So it's all glories to COVID, because of whom we are getting this opportunity to meet twice in a week. Or else normally we have just one weekend, that is Sunday. Or else this is not possible. This is not possible to meet twice a week physically because office work and this and that. Now, since everyone is at home, doing work from home, attending meetings from home, so it becomes a somewhat simpler, somewhat easy, to just log in. And sometimes I see that some Matajis are cooking in the kitchen, playing my lecture. You can see that, and some people are doing various things which I don't want to name now. So okay, whatever it is, Krishna Katha, at least it is going in the ear, and that will have its effect. That will have lots and lots of purification. That will cleanse our heart. Finally, for us as living entities who are stuck in this material world, our only hope is Krishna Katha. Without Krishna Katha, without Katha of Krishna, and without Katha by Krishna, that is Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, it's very difficult to survive in devotional service. So we all are very fortunate. Today is the second last day of Purushottam Mas. Tomorrow is tomorrow is 16th. So tomorrow is the last day of Purushottam Mas. So I hope you all are chanting and taking maximum benefit. So tomorrow is the last day. So I request all of you all that, if possible, join for tomorrow morning's online Japa session. Chant more rounds. Water Tulsi, offer Tulsi to Krishna. And you can recite the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Listen to some Bhagavad Gita lecture, which we had, a Bhagavatam lecture that we had. And you can read some verses of Bhagavad Gita as well, right? So all these things can be done. So it's a very, very auspicious day. Tomorrow is the last day, so you all can utilize to the maximum. So with this, I would like to take questions and discuss the same. So today is 15th October. Okay. Oh, today we have a lot of questions. So I'll take the questions related to Iscon and Prabhupada, if any. Yeah, I see some questions here. Okay. So after the last session, being enlightened about Srila Prabhupada, I was eager to know more about him and Googled. I saw the video in which after moksha, he was being carried by the disciples. His holy body was buried. Just out of curiosity, I want to know why Srila Prabhupada's holy body was buried. As in Hindu dharma, it's not so. Eager to know. Okay, that's a very nice question. So when it comes to the Hindu culture, when it comes to Sanatan dharma, the bodies are burnt. So why bodies are burnt? Because this body is contaminated, completely contaminated, and lots of anarthas are there, lots of unwanted things are there in the heart. So the body is burnt completely, so that the living entity, it goes to the next body. It does not remain attached to the same body, hovering around the body. But when it comes to pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, who have achieved the perfection of human form of life, who are direct associates of Krishna, so their body is completely pure. In fact, you can say that their body is spiritual. So it is like, whatever things we have with us, it can be spiritualized. Even this body can be spiritualized with everyday practice of Krishna consciousness. And when it comes to Srila Prabhupada, 24/7, he was engaged in Krishna service, 24/7. No. Even the 2 hours that he would sleep from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock, that was also in service of Krishna, because he has to rest so that he can do his service. So in this way, Prabhupada's entire existence was dedicated to Krishna, and every single activity that he would do was Krishna conscious. So like that, and also we cannot ignore the fact that he's the associate of Lord Krishna. So he being such a great personality, such a great spiritualist, such a great devotee, pure devotee. So his body is spiritual, his body is holy, is pure. So the bodies of the great souls who have this qualification like that of Srila Prabhupada, their bodies are buried. So that is called a samadhi. So that particular place where samadhi is given, so it is described in the Shastra that those great souls will reside there for the benefit of everyone. So for the benefit of everyone, they would reside at that place, and whenever we go, we can offer our prayers, we can offer or open our heart in front of them and talk to them. Yes, and they would hear our prayers for sure. So they are there, personally present. Srila Prabhupada is there. Srila Prabhupada is there in all his books, all his lectures. He's there in every Iskcon temple. And also at the same time, he's personally present in his Samadhi in Vrindavan, in Sri Krishna Balram Mandir. So that's the reason. So all the great souls who have achieved perfection of human form of life, they are buried, their body is buried, so that everyone else gets an opportunity to take their darshan in the state of Samadhi. Hope this answers your question. Let me take the next one now. Okay, I want to know about the history of Iscon temple. What made Srila Prabhupada Guruji to establish Iscon? Any reason for that? So, when it comes to Iscon, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, now Prabhupada established this very wonderful organization so that maximum people all around the world can take benefit of the same. In fact, these Iscon centers are like the embassies of Vaikuntha or Goloka, a very, very spiritualized centers. Because Prabhupada had given a set of things to be done every single day. So in Iscon, we have 6 times aartis. From morning 4:30 it starts till night 8 o'clock. So like one we have at 4:30, which is called as Mangala Aarti. Then at 7 o'clock, which is called as Shringara Aarti. And then there is one at around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So which is called as the Bal, that is the Bhoga Aarti that happens. That is the morning Bhoga Aarti. Then at 12 o'clock, there's another Aarti called Raj Bhoga Aarti. Then 4 o'clock in the evening, there's another Aarti, again, evening Bhoga Aarti. And then in the evening at 7 o'clock, we have Sandhya Aarti. So like that, 6 Aartis are there. And 6 times the Bhoga is offered to the Lord. And the outfits, those are offered to the Lord. They're fashion designed outfits. They're designed by fashion designers. You see, any deities all around the world in Iscon, all the Radha Krishna deities, or any other deities like Sita, Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman, all the dresses, those are designed. Those are like designed by fashion designers, and very, very costly dresses. Very costly dresses. Even the ornaments are designed, specially made, designed. So Srila Prabhupada wanted to set an example all around the world how to keep Krishna in the center of our life. And Iscon is a place of education, an organization where people can just come, and when they come, they'll get educated, in all walks of life. Be it parenting, be it taking care of kids, or be it the husband-wife relation, be it entering the marriage life. We have something called as premarital training, so they can get that. And moreover, as compared to all these different material aspects, Prabhupada has set up this one wonderful thing, that everything that happens here should be in accordance with Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So morning there is Bhagavatam class, and evening there is a Bhagavad Gita class. So like this, Prabhupada has set, very nicely. So anyone who comes to Iscon, will have that all-round development. And finally, the goal is very clear for that particular person. That is breaking the cycle of birth and death. So there are many temples all around the world. But then, we go and we pray and we come back. But when it comes to education, that's pretty much lacking. So Prabhupada had this vision where, he wanted to have this Iskcon temples as educational centers. And he established all around the world. And obviously in the last session, we heard that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's spiritual master, he ordered Prabhupada in 1922 that you are an educated man. Why don't you preach the message of Bhagavad Gita in English language to the Western world. So this was the instruction that was given. So Prabhupada very nicely followed the instruction. He went to West at the age of 70, and then till the age of 82, he was going all around the globe 14 times, and he established 108 Iscon centers, huge Iscon centers all around the world. So yes, these are some of the reasons. Now, obviously, there are seven principles, or I don't know what to call it as, seven detailed things which Prabhupada has given, on the basis of which Iscon was built. So hope this gives a glimpse of why Iscon, why Prabhupada established Iscon. Yes. There's another question. What is Iscon and why one should remain in Iscon? Oh, okay. So what is Iscon? As I already said, it's an educational hub for bhakti yoga, for the spiritual culture. So bhakti culture. So it's a hub basically. In fact, every Iscon temple is not different than Vaikuntha, because Krishna is there in the center. Srimad Bhagavatam says, what is the speciality of Vaikuntha? The speciality of Vaikuntha is that every single personality in Vaikuntha serves the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna or Vishnu. Same thing, Prabhupada established here in Iscon, that every single individual who is there in Iscon should serve Radha and Krishna. They should be their center of life. Yes, so this was very, very clearly mentioned by Srila Prabhupada, and he himself followed. Once Srila Prabhupada was supposed to travel in India only, from one place to another. So his disciples booked a flight ticket. No, they were about to book a flight ticket. So they went to Srila Prabhupada and they asked that, Prabhupada, we want to book a flight ticket for you because you have to travel after a few days. And Prabhupada asked, what is the cost of flight ticket? So they said so and so. And then Prabhupada asked, what is the cost of train ticket? And they said so and so. Prabhupada said, book me a train ticket. Let's save money so that all that can be used in service of Radha and Krishna. At that time, during Prabhupada's time, lots and lots of donations would come. Lots and lots of donations. But he was such a simple personality, such a simple and such a dedicated personality, that he utilized everything for the service of Krishna. Everything. Whatever money would come would be utilized in service of the Lord. He wanted a gorgeous dressing of their lordships. He wanted proper bhoga to be offered. For your information, every single day in all the Iscon temples all around the world, let me tell you what bhogas are offered. Early morning, 4 o'clock, the bhoga that is offered is sweets. So sweets like rasgulla, sandesh, and nice rasmalai and other milk items are offered early in the morning at 4 o'clock to the Lord as bhoga, naivedya. And then at 7 o'clock, breakfast is offered. Now this breakfast prasad is also, breakfast bhoga is also very special. There are 5 to 6 items in that. And then something called as Raj Bhog Prasad, Raj Bhog offering, which is at 12 to 12:30, in between that time. So there, 14 items, minimum 14 items are offered to the Lord. And at 4 o'clock, this cut fruits are offered. Huge amounts of cut fruits are offered in the evening. And at 6:30, around 6:30, this evening bhoga is offered. Yes, where some nice 4 or 5 items are again offered. And then at night, 8 o'clock, milk is offered. Now this milk is very special. So this milk is kept on the stove for boiling from 6 o'clock in the evening on the slow flame. And then it goes for 2 hours, it keeps boiling and it becomes very, very condensed. And that milk is offered to Krishna. And then last arti called Shayan Arti happens at 8 o'clock. So you can imagine, this is what Prabhupada wanted. Prabhupada wanted to set this example for the entire world, that this is how Krishna should be served, because everything belongs to him and we should offer everything to him. Right? So this is Iscon, where everything is offered for the pleasure of Krishna. Yes, everything. Even the dress that we wear is for the pleasure of Krishna. Yes, why white and white, or why saffron? Why a simple dressing? No, because Krishna is the center. Let him be dressed very gorgeously, and let the servants be very simple. With that mood, this entire setup is there. And you see, be it the attire, be it any festival that happens in Iscon, be it any classes that happens in Iscon, it's all for the welfare of people all around. Yes. So, maybe I'll explain about the dress. Anyways, we'll see that in the advanced sessions in more detail. So this tilak that you see, it's called as Urdhva Pundra tilak. So this tilak, basically, this represents the lotus feet of Krishna, the feet of Krishna. And this that you see on the nose, that is the tulasi that is offered to the lotus feet of Krishna. Now, anyone who sees this tilak basically gets the spiritual credits of seeing the sakshat lotus feet of Krishna with the tulsi offered to that. So when devotees put tilak and go around distributing books or preaching about Bhagavad Gita, so what happens is, without notice of people in general, when they see the tilak, they get the credit, spiritual credit, sukriti, of taking darshan of the lotus feet of the Lord. So Prabhupada's thing was, every single moment of ours should be utilized in service of the entire humanity. This is what he wanted. So you see, everything that is done in Iscon, is done for the benefit of people all around. So like be distributing of books. Like December, entire month, is a book distribution marathon. So where all the devotees are out on the roads distributing Bhagavad Gitas and other holy books. So this Prabhupada wanted, because he was very clear, that when the books are distributed, people would take it and they would read. And devotees in Iscon from different levels they are. Maybe some people might be in the labor class, and there are people who are there at the CEO level also. All of them go on the roads to distribute Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada wanted service, at the same time devotees to remain humble. This is about book distribution, prasad distribution. All around the world, free prasadam is distributed. Because Prabhupada was very clear, if prasad, which is bhoga that is offered to the Lord, which becomes prasad, if that is distributed, when people have it, their spiritual credits will increase and they'll become eligible to do devotional service. So Prabhupada made it free prasad distribution, the famous Iskcon khichdi. So that's distributed all around the world at different places. Even Steve Jobs was very fond of having Iskcon khichdi at that time. And then various other activities like, speaking about the message of Bhagavad Gita. So you hear any speaker in Iskcon, they would speak what Prabhupada speaks. They would speak what is given in Prabhupada books, because Prabhupada was very clear. Speak as it is that is given in Shastra. Don't use your contaminated mind. This is what Prabhupada would say. Yes. So in this way, Prabhupada, he set it up, this entire organization for the welfare of the entire humanity, so that everyone gets benefited. Everyone gets benefited. Without any discrimination of caste, creed, or monetary status, or physical status, emotional status, whatever it is, Prabhupada made it available for everyone all around the world. Right? And there are obviously various different aspects of Iscon also. Like there's something called as farm community, where devotees stay in farm, cultivate, the various crops, and they live a Vedic lifestyle. Then there's something called as Gurukul, Iscon Gurukul, where small kids right from the age of 6, they are admitted there, and they learn various things, various shastra, right from childhood. And then we have this Bhakti Vedanta Book Trust, which is again linked to Iscon, where all the books are printed, right? And what else? There's so many. There are marriage bureaus also, Iscon marriage bureaus, only for devotees, because a devotee would like to marry a devotee only, for that. So like this, Prabhupada set it up various things. So this all together, put together, is Iscon. Actually, I can go on describing, but it will take a long time. So various different entities are there when it comes to Iscon. Yes. Hope this answers what is Iscon and why one should remain in Iscon. So Prabhupada said that never leave Iscon, because this Iscon, let me explain you with an analogy. Yes. So this Iscon is basically like a train. We call it as Goloka Express, Vaikunta Express. So it's like a train. Okay. So now, when we get inside the train, so we know that we have to get down at some destination. So when we get inside the train, we have to make sure that we don't get down at any other station except our destination. Right. So Prabhupada was very clear that anyone who comes to Iscon and practices bhakti very nicely, or just stay connected with devotees chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will surely get purified. And one day he will reach Goloka, breaking the cycle of birth and death. Another analogy that is given is Like when it comes to a fruit, say mango fruit. So we have the tree, mango tree, and the fruit is attached to the mango tree. So now, when the fruit is attached to the mango tree and it remains attached, it remains there, what will happen? That fruit will become ripened, the mango will become ripened, it will become sweet, it will become ready, to be relished by Krishna. So similarly, Prabhupada wanted that anyone who remains in Iscon, no, he's very, very clear. Anyone who remains in Iscon, practicing bhakti, connected to devotees, chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, learning how to do deity worship at home. So Prabhupada was very clear that if someone stays connected like this, so that personality will surely get purified and break the cycle of birth and death. So Prabhupada was very clear, never leave Iscon, come what may. You'll have lots of misunderstandings here and there. That's okay, not a problem. When multiple people come together, misunderstandings will be there. What's the big thing? So yes, misunderstandings will be there. So it's okay, not a problem. This is what Prabhupada would say. But stay in Iscon, just be in the association of devotees. Because only here in the association of devotees we can practice bhakti. Or else there is no scope of practicing bhakti. Tell me, if not for our Thursdays and Sundays sessions, where do we discuss all these different spiritual aspects? Just imagine you call up your colleague or your friend and you start discussing about spirituality. They will say that, I guess you've gone crazy. What's wrong with you? So there are hardly any avenues to discuss about Krishna, discuss about Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, how to break the cycle of birth and death, how to attain perfection of human form of life. Hardly any avenues. So Prabhupada wanted that people come to this educational center and learn about Bhagavad Gita, apply the message in one's own life and distribute it to people in general. This is what he wanted. Right? So he requested that once you start practicing bhakti, stay in the association of devotees in the setup called Iscon. This is what he wanted. Hope this answers your question. Okay, so there are a few more questions. Rumor I heard when I was talking about Iscon, one person told Iscon people are very rich. They get huge funding from foreign. I told him where there is Lord Vishnu, his wife Lakshmi will be there. He laughed. Okay, this is a big rumor that is there all around. Yes. In fact, in Vrindavan, our Iscon temple is called as Angrez Mandir. A lot of foreigners are there. So many people have this question that why didn't Prabhupada establish Iscon temple in India first? Why did he establish in Boston or New York? Why did he do that? So the answer is Prabhupada tried. If you remember, I had cleared this. Prabhupada tried here in Jhansi. He tried establishing a center which was called as League of Devotees. At that time, he didn't name it as Iscon. He named it as League of Devotees. It was very new. That was his initial endeavor to do that. But then in India, to be very frank, people are very much casual about things when it comes to bhakti. I know Krishna, I know Bhagavad Gita, I know this, I know that. Even when we go out for book distribution, we tell Bhagavad Gita, pad liya, Bhagavad Gita sab pad liya. And then normally I do that. I catch hold of the person and ask, bolo kya pada hai, dikhao kya pada hai. And the person is hardly able to speak, hardly able to answer. This is what is the Indian mentality, unfortunately. No, it didn't work here. Prabhupada tried his best. There was no support from the Indian government. There was no support from the big shots in big business shots. So he couldn't do much here. Then he went to West, abiding by the instruction of his spiritual master. And there he established the first center. So now the problem which people have is they cannot conceive, this point that how can a Krishna temple be established first in West and then spread all around? So they feel that the origin of Krishna is there in origin of Iscon is in New York or in Western countries, but the origin of Iscon is there in Vrindavan, in a place called Radha Damodar Mandir, where Prabhupada sat and wrote so many books, and where he conceived this entire plan of how can I establish this spiritual hub for the welfare of everyone. Right. So since the first center started in the West, people have this notion, people have this preconceived notion that, oh, this is a foreign organization. And also the first set of disciples, in fact, the first disciple of Prabhupada was an Indian, but after that one disciple, the first Indian disciple. After that, all the other disciples were Westerners. When Prabhupada came for the first time in India with all his Western disciples, they were all like white-skinned and having that golden hair and things like that, wearing dhoti, kurta, sari. People were not able to digest in India. So many people in India, be it Vrindavan, Jagannath Puri, or in Mayapur, people are not able to digest it all. That how can this be possible? In fact, they started chastising and blaspheming Prabhupada, saying, you're degrading the Indian culture. How can you give this wealth to Westerners? And Prabhupada would say that this is for the entire humanity, not just for India. And Prabhupada would quote, Prithivitya ache jata nagaradi gram sarvattar prachar hoibe gaurangera naam. Yes. So Lord Gauranga or Krishna's names will be chanted all around the world. This is the prophecy that is given in the Shastra. And Prabhupada would say that this is what I am trying to do. This is what I am trying to do as a servant of Krishna. Right? Now, since the first center was established there in the West, and many of the first set of disciples of Prabhupada were Westerners, so people feel that money is coming from West. Money coming from West to India is still okay. People can digest. But money from India going to West, people cannot digest. Yes. So no give and take happens with any center in Iscon. So there are like around 800 plus centers, I guess, all around the world, if I'm not wrong. So every center is independent. Prabhupada wanted that the finance of every single Iscon center should be independent. So there is no give and take between even the centers. Like in Bangalore, we have got multiple centers. So every single center is independent. There is no give and take of finance. No. So every single center should maintain itself, where they can distribute books, and from that, whatever money comes, donations that they collect during Janmashtami, and the donations that comes, for various other deity worship or bhoga offering and other seva which is there. So with that donation, the temple is expected to be maintained. Prabhupada was genius. Prabhupada wanted this to happen because if suppose the centers are dependent on each other, then the center which is very slackened and lazy, they will not endeavor. Anyways, the money is coming from central funds. Why should we work? So useless people will enter the centers and they would just eat and sleep. Right? So Prabhupada never wanted that. So Prabhupada wanted intelligent people to be there and manage the entire center, starting from accounts, finance, or be it deity worship, be it book distribution, be it anything for that matter. Right? So every Iscon center is independent. This has to be understood. So no money from one center goes to another. Not at all. Not possible at all. Yes, because in fact every center remains always less in finance, because when it comes to the grandeur of the entire worship that is done in Iscon, that needs a lot of funds. Even the festivals that we do in Iscon, it's very, very great scale. Because Prabhupada wanted that. It's Krishna's birthday, Janmashtami, Radharani's birthday, Radhashtami, Narsimha Chaturdashi, Ram Navami, like this, so many festivals are there. And Prabhupada wanted them to be grand because it's Lord's birthday. It's Lord's appearance day. And all these grand festivals needs grand finance. So like that. In fact, there have been times where so many Iscon centers, there will be no money, till the festival is coming, and then by the intense prayers of the devotees, somehow some donor will come, give some money, and the festival will happen. Right? So the point that I'm trying to make is every single center of Iscon is independent, financially independent, managerially. So they don't have any connection as such. Obviously, all the temple heads, they would come together and have meetings about how things are going, and they would share ideas of how to distribute the message of Bhagavad Gita. And if there is some suggestion that is needed in some management of some center, they would give suggestions. So like this, we see that every Iscon center is independent. So where is the question of give and take here? Yes, so there is no give and take. There is no finance transfer from one place to another. Yes. I don't know where this all thought came from, but people, and there are lots of videos on it. It says that money from Iscon is going to West, and they would show some Western devotees, with white skin, black skin devotees. And people in general of India, they would say, correct, these Westerners, they are taking all the money and things like that, right? And when it comes to the donations that come to Iscon, yes, Now, in general, wherever Krishna is there, Lakshmi comes. Yes, that is there, no doubt about that. So yes, Lakshmi comes, but then there are like 800 plus centers, as I already said. But there are only few centers, where lots of donation would come, which has got a big structure or something like that. Because a lot of people would be visiting the temple and things like that. But then when it comes to small centers, they're still struggling. In fact, during this COVID, it was so difficult for so many centers. So many centers, it was so difficult. Even to maintain the deity worship standards was becoming so difficult. Somehow, they would manage, right? Because donations went down and there was no book distribution that was happening. Even our Goshala, had to suffer, for a long time. Somehow, we managed, all that. So in this way, we see that the finance of every temple is independent. And when it comes to donations, there are few Iscon centers, which will get a good amount of donation. There have been, the old Iscon centers, the new Iscon centers which are coming up, they, literally struggle, a lot many times, for the finance. So yes, what you answered is correct. Now, wherever there is Vishnu, Lakshmi will come. Hope this clears about the finance aspect, the accounts aspect of Iscon. In Iscon, we don't get chance to do pradakshina like other temples. We cannot offer coconut flower directly to Lord Krishna. Like in other temples, there will be no pujari. I am sorry, I visited only once to Iscon, that too very long back. Okay, I was expecting same things like other temples, but it was just go and see the god and from far and come back. Okay. So basically in Iscon, we follow a very high standard of worship. So only the people who have got Brahman Diksha, only they can offer, they can do the personal worship of the Lord. Yes. So according to the Shastra, there are 32 offenses, when it comes to deity worship. So a very great amount of purity has to be maintained. So if you see all the pujaris who are there on the altar, when they, before going to the altar, before going to the main Garbhagriha, they would take bath first and then they would go. And the cloth that they wear is also very pure. In fact, they don't wear the same cloth even for going to washroom to pass urine also. They remove the entire cloth, going towel, to pass urine, and then they would take bath after that. So very, very high level of purity standard is maintained. And then when it comes to mantras, that those are chanted. Those are also very high level mantras, according to Pancharatrika Vidhi. So these common public will not be able to do and will not be able to maintain the high standards. So the pujaris act on the behalf of the visitors who come. So whatever is supposed to be offered, that is given, and then that is offered. And even the articles those are offered, those are very high quality articles. Like when it comes to flowers, so only fragrant flowers are offered, not any flower just like that. So only fragrant flowers are offered. And when it comes to fruits, high quality fruits are offered. So like that, a high standard of deity worship is maintained. And that is the reason common public is not allowed inside, and they cannot do this. And also, since the deities look very beautiful, you never know, some thief might come and then steal away various things. So that is there, right? So basically the answer is to maintain that deity worship standard. Yes, but then when the visitors come and give their offerings, and when the pujari is offering, then it is not different than me personally offering it. Now, this has to be clear. So according to Shastra, if someone is offering on our behalf, to the Lord, that Lord accepts as our offering only. So there is no need of we being personally going and keeping our our offering at the feet of Krishna or something like that. Yes. So this is the reason in Iscon we do that, and in Iscon you will see mostly, yes, we do have that coconut and other paraphernalia to be offered, but more importantly, at the donation desk, there are various sevas which are there, like as I explained, the different bhogas, morning bal bhog or breakfast bhoga or raj bhoga, and all that sevas will be there, and then flower offering, then the outfits of the deities, for that we can sponsor, go seva can be sponsored, like that. The donation desk will have all this, and anyone who wants, they can offer their heartfelt donation, and the high quality stuff will be offered to the Lord, be it the dressing or be it the offering or whatever, right? So a bit of different setup just to maintain the deity standard, deity worship standard. Just to maintain that, it's a bit different as compared to normal temples. Hope this answers your question. Also, Pradakshina like other temples, yes, many temples have, Iskcon temples have got this setup of doing pradakshina. Only sometimes when the center is very small, so we'll not have that thing to do pradakshina. But many of the big temples of Iskcon have this system of pradakshina. We do that. We do that. You go to Vrindavan, you'll find it. Then you go to Mayapur, you'll find it. You go to Iskcon Juhu in Mumbai, or in Delhi, we have Iskcon Radha Partha Sarthi Mandir. So there, so many temples are there where we can do pradakshina. Only small centers will not have that. Is Iscon indulged in downgrading other deities in Hindu religion? Oh, so there's a nice question. This is a very frequently asked question. That is it that Iscon degrades other Devi Devtas? Prabhupada was very clear. Prabhupada said that yes, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we have to worship him. But then when it comes to other Devi Devtas, we have to give proper respect, because all of them are associates of Krishna. So proper respect should be given. There is no question of disrespecting anyone. But only when it comes to newcomers who don't know the philosophy, who have not read Bhagavad Gita, who have not read Srimad Bhagavatam, who don't have a proper understanding of the position of Devi Devtas and Krishna and other things. So they do commit offense, and they do speak very in a very harsh tone and things like that. But when it comes to mature devotees who have spent some time in Iscon, who have read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the ones who have understood the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, they would never dare to do that. Because according to the Shastra, and according to the Vaishnava Shastra, it's very clear that every living entity should be respected. What talk about Devi Devtas? Even the ants should be respected. This is what Shastras say. So where is the question of disrespecting? Yes. So only people who are a bit immature, who are like for example, many people in our Gita course also, they came initially, right? We started with the attendance of 880, and now we have come down to 500 roughly attendance. So those people, who didn't attend, after a few sessions, they will be like, oh, I know Bhagavad Gita, I know Iscon, I know everything. So they're half cooked. When it comes to knowledge, it's half cooked. So it's very difficult. When such people start preaching the message, they will preach something weird, and unfortunately, such people will be greater in number, and they will degrade the image. When it comes to the philosophy of Iscon, yes. So that's something. That's the answer. It's like respect everyone but love Krishna. That's what that's what is told in the Shastra. Is Krishna being the Supreme Personality of Godhead? He is the eternal Father of everyone. So in that way, Prabhupada set it up. This particular thing that Krishna should be worshipped and everyone should be respected. Hope this answers your question. Okay, do we have any other question about? Okay, so now let me take some other questions. Okay, there were some questions which was asked about Draupadi and things like that. Let me check. So there was a nice question which one person has asked. So when Draupadi was in trouble, Lord Krishna saved her. But in Kali Yuga, so many gang rapes are happening. Why Lord Krishna is not coming to save them? Oh, that's that's a very high level and a very sensitive topic. Very, very sensitive topic. I'll just speak about Draupadi because I know about her. I don't know about the females of Kali Yuga. I don't know about them, but I can speak about Draupadi from Shastra. So when it comes to Draupadi, she was such a great devotee of Lord Krishna, such a great devotee. In fact, all the time she would be meditating on Lord Krishna, all the time. And Krishna would be there to rescue his devotees like Draupadi and the Pandavas in various instances of life. What is needed when it comes to dealing with, what is needed when it comes to calling out for Krishna? For calling out for Krishna, practice is needed. Every single day practice is needed. For getting closer to Krishna, every single day practice is needed. So this aspect of calling out for Krishna has to be practiced very nicely. So it is not that when we are there in critical time, suddenly we'll remember Krishna. See, I think in one of the class I have cleared this. I think in that special session, Amrish Maharaj session, I said that we need to understand the job description of Krishna and ours. Job description of Krishna is to take care of us, and our job description is to serve Krishna. That is what is the give and take that is there between the devotee and the Lord. Yes, and that's a selfless give and take. Both don't expect from each other anything. So when it comes to devotees, so devotees are completely dependent on Krishna, like a small child is completely dependent on the mother for his daily necessities, right? So when someone is completely dependent on Krishna, Krishna has to take care of that person. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. So in this way, we see when it comes to Draupadi, she was completely dependent on Krishna. They didn't have their original identity as such. No, their identity was we are servants of Krishna. All the Pandavas, Draupadi, they had this identity that we are servants of Krishna. So when, in fact, even for Draupadi, Krishna didn't supply the sari immediately. Krishna waited. So the Vastraharan started. Dushasan, very, very cruelly, he started pulling the sari of Draupadi. He wanted to disrobe Draupadi and strip her naked in the entire assembly. Huge assembly it was. And all the great personalities are sitting in the assembly like Bhishma, Drona, and so many others who were there. And Dushasan wanted to do that, and Duryodhana also wanted to enjoy the same. And Draupadi, what she was doing is she was holding the sari. She was not she was not calling out for Krishna at that time. She was holding the sari. And Dushasan was pulling. Now Draupadi is a delicate lady. And Dushasan is a demon-like person, very, very strong. He is pulling the sari. How much this delicate female can hold? And then, she was holding, Dushasan is pulling, she is holding, Dushasan is pulling. She understood. Now I cannot do anything here. I cannot do anything. And with her complete dependence on Krishna, she left the sari. It was a very big thing, very, very big thing. She left the sari and she just raised her arms and she called out for Krishna. Hey Krishna, hey Govinda, hey Mukunda. So we raise our arms and we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are following in the footsteps of Draupadi, calling out for Krishna with arms raised. Draupadi called like that. And then Krishna supplied the sari. Krishna is very clever. Krishna sees, he tests his devotees, how much he is really dependent on me. If Krishna sees a little bit of independence, Krishna says, okay, you manage yourself. Why I am needed there in the picture? You have strength. You feel that you have strength. You manage yourself. First. And secondly, see this question, is a obviously, it's a sensitive question and a lot of aspects can be discussed here. But then see, one thing we have to understand is that Krishna is not the order supplier for us. We call, we clap 3 times and then Krishna is there immediately for our service. We cannot ask this question that why Krishna is not doing this, why Krishna is not doing that. First, we have to ask the question, what we are doing for Krishna. In fact, Krishna is doing lots of things. Lots of things Krishna is doing. Yes. In fact, it's the karma of people that people are suffering in various ways. But when it comes to taking care of people in general, Krishna is doing that. Krishna is supplying even small ants, milligrams of food, and Krishna is supplying tons of food every single day to the elephants in African jungles. Now, why will he not take care of human beings in general? Tell me. He will, and he is taking care. Shastras say, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman Eko Bahunam. He is that one person, Vidadati Kaman, who is maintaining everyone, who's fulfilling the desires of various living entities. He's doing that. But then, when it comes to us, we have to understand that we are not his master. He is our master. We have to serve him, not that he has to serve us. Right? So when we are in trouble, when we are facing some problem, we have to understand that yes, this is because of various things that we have done in the past. Yes. And if the person is really an intense devotee and calling out for Krishna, why will not Krishna come? Krishna will come. There are so many instances where Krishna has personally appeared and helped people. So many instances are there. I remember one instance, very nice devotee sharing this. So It was pitch dark, and she was coming back, from this some satsang. Mm. This was in foreign country, and then when she was coming back from there, so there were few rowdies who were standing on the road, and they were looking at that girl, with a bad intention, and the girl could understand, and she was alone, and it was very difficult. And then somehow, she was walking, and she somehow escaped from that place walking. And then after that, another girl, she came by the same path, and those same gang, same people, they raped her, and they killed her. Now this girl who went first, she got to know the news that just after few minutes, the girl who came after her, she was killed. This girl was very much, inquisitive. That how come I was spared? She literally went to the jail to talk to them. That how come you didn't help me out? Sorry, how come you didn't harm me? No, I was alone. No, those rowdies who were there behind the bar, they said, no, you were not alone. There was a staunch black person on one side, and there was a healthy white person on the other side. And those were like your bodyguards who were walking with you. Yes, Jagannath was there, Krishna was there, and Balram was there. So many instances are there like this, where Krishna is personally coming and helping his devotees. Anyone who is dependent on Krishna completely, he will help. But another one thing we have to understand is that what we are thinking, the way Krishna should help us, maybe in that way Krishna might not help, because Krishna has got a higher plan for all of us. For us, we might think Krishna should help in this way only. Like all of us have this notion. Like suppose we are suffering from monetary issue, then we will have like, oh, somehow Krishna should supply money to me. But maybe Krishna has some other plan. Krishna wants us to teach something, giving that particular situation. Possible. So Krishna is helping every living entity. Krishna is helping even the females who have gone through such terrible situations. Yes. So they have burnt lots of karma of the past, and surely they will have a good destination in future. No doubt about that. Yes. All the ones who meets with accident or some mishap or something. Yes. So obviously that is there due to something related to past. But then surely the future will be very good, because lots of suffering is just removed at one go, right? So when it comes to all these cases, it's a very, very sensitive, and we shouldn't analyze going too deep of, oh, what was the karma of that lady in the past, why this happened, why that happened. But one thing that we can do is we can pray for them, but obvious. And another thing that we have to understand is, when it comes to us, if we are there in that situation, what we have to do, we have to call out for Krishna. We have to be completely dependent on Krishna. And this is not possible when we are there directly in the critical situation. This is an everyday practice, Even today, when you fall down, when you're walking, and suppose you slip and you fall down, what does that word, which is that word that comes out from our mouth? Mummy, Papa, Ajji, Tata, whatever it is. Yes, these are the different words which come out from the mouth. Yes. My question is, Krishna comes out from the mouth? Do we chant Krishna? Do we call out for Krishna? If you're not calling out for Krishna, then why should Krishna come? Then Mummy should come, Papa should come, or grandfather, grandmother should come, or some uncle, auntie should come. Why should Krishna come? So it's a daily practice. The chanting that we are doing is a practice for the same. So we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and even when a devotee sneezes, he remembers Krishna, he chants Krishna. There are many people who say, oh shit, what is this? Oh shit. If suppose we die saying that, next life will become a worm in that shit. So we have to chant Krishna when we sneeze, when we're falling down, when we fall down, because of slipping or whatever it is, that Krishna should come from the mouth. So this is a practice, everyday practice. You know why this practice is so important? Because every day is a preparation for the last examination, which is called as death. At the time of death, the kapha, pitta, vayu, the three entities, they block all the 9 holes of the body. It's very difficult at that time. So if someone is thinking, oh, okay, Krishna said, remember me at the end of life, I will come back to me. So I remember Krishna at the end of life. What is the problem? Hare Baba, it's not so easy. It's not so easy. It's an everyday practice by which we'll be able to remember Krishna at the time of death. So this point is very, very important. That are we practicing Krishna consciousness every day? First. Second, are we dependent on Krishna? Third, are we having that trust on Krishna's plans, or are we having more confidence on our own plans? Fourth, do we really want help from Krishna, or we want help from people around? Yes. So like this, so many questions are there which we have to answer first before getting into some critical situation like that. Hope I answered your question to some extent. Is it mandatory to have children? If we don't have children, we won't get moksha. Or is it okay not to have children by our own choice? We don't think we'll be able to give our kid the required time and fit into the shoes of good parents rather than being guilty of having a kid. See, when it comes to grahastha devotees, if both husband and wife are healthy, they're medically fit, clinically fit, they are expected to beget kids. It's mandatory. It's not optional. It's not that male and female are coming together for fun. Male and female are coming together to beget kids. And what sort of kids? Nice Krishna conscious kids. So there are various samskaras. Maybe someday we can discuss about the samskaras also. Like when the male and female are coming together, when they're uniting to beget a kid, with the mood of begetting a kid, there are some samskaras that has to be done, which is called as Garbhadhan samskar, where the husband and wife, they chant a good number of rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They take blessings of the superiors, they take blessings of Krishna and Sri Guru, and then they get indulged in that activity to beget a kid. So with that consciousness, when they're indulging into the act of begetting the kid, so what happens is, the best of the best soul is attracted to the womb of that lady. And right from the childhood itself, you'll see the divine qualities of the child. Right? So this is what is expected, when it comes to married people. It's not that, oops, I begot a kid. No, it's not oops. It's a planning that has to be done. It's a samskara, that has to be done, which is called as Garbhadhan samskar. Right? So there are like, good number of samskaras, dasha samskaras. So those samskaras have to be done, starting with Garbhadhan samskar, and then, then Simantanayana samskar, when the lady is having, when she's pregnant, having the baby in the womb. And after that, when the baby is born, there are some samskaras, like there are Mundan samskar is there, and then Namkarana samskar is there, and various others like Annaprashana samskar is there. So like that, various samskars are there, and all these samskaras are basically very important, so that the child grows up very nicely in the path of bhakti, so that he gets the divine qualities. So it's not about just sending the kid to the school and paying 2 lakhs of fees. We are done with our responsibility. That's a myth. That's all modern trend, right? Where was this before? 50 years back or 100 years back, this was not there. Yes. So it's giving the samskara, giving that good impression. Samskara means good impression on the mind. Yes. So yes, it is mandatory for every single parent, to beget a child. Now, when we are marrying, so we are also taking the responsibility of begetting a child and taking care of the child very nicely, so that the child becomes eligible to go back to Godhead. Now, since the topic has come, let me speak on this. So it is described in Shastra. Guru nasasyat, pita nasasyat, janani nasasyat. So various nasasyat, that's given, the words. Nasasyat basically means they are not. Guru is not a guru. Father is not a father. Mother is not a mother. Relatives are not relatives, if they are not delivering their subordinates back home, back to Godhead. If parents are not training the child to break the cycle of birth and death, then they are not real parents. This is what Shastras say in this particular shloka that I just quoted. Yes. So in this way, now, yes, when male, female, when they marry, it's necessary if they are clinically healthy. If there is no problem, then they have to beget a child, and they have to take care of the child very nicely. This is one of the grahastha dharma of the married people. Like for a brahmachari, for a monk, dharma is to do swadhyay. Yes. Where they are busy reading shastra and doing various things. Obviously, everyone should read shastra, but then especially for monks, they have to read shastra very nicely and distribute it to everyone around. And when it comes to grahasthas, two important dharma is there. One is begetting a Krishna conscious child, taking care of the child very nicely, and second, giving charity, giving donation. So these are the two important dharma that Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita. So like that, various things are there in Bhagavad Gita. Anyways, in that Shloka Day series, when I'll cover that Shloka, maybe I'll elaborate at that particular point of time. Is it that true marriages are made in heaven for 7 life, or it's decided by our past karma, or it's our choice? Our choice, I don't think it's our choice. Yes, in no ways it's our choice. Past karma, yes. Marriages are made in heaven. This is what general statement is. But as students of Gita, we understand it's the karma that gets two people together, which is called as collective karma. Hope this answer. I'll not elaborate on this topic. So it's collective karma, yes, whereby two people come together. Why just two people, husband and wife? Even the kids who are begotten, they are also begot. Or they also come in that particular family based on that collective karma aspect. Okay, so maybe I'll take one more question and then I'll end today's discussion and we'll do mantra meditation. I think I can take one live question. We didn't take any live questions today. Okay. I was in a relationship and broke up last year. I got dumped very badly. Although I moved on, but the painful memories still haunt me. Some days I'm absolutely fine, while some days remembering all that he did pains me. I don't want to remember and want to excel in life, but somewhere the pain is still there. Please suggest something. I don't know what answer should I give. Should I give a soft answer or should I give a hard answer? Now, since you are my student and you're attending my sessions from quite some time, I'll give a hard answer. No use of beating around the bush. What is the use of feeling the pain for a person who hardly knows the value of relationship? What is the use of that? Yes. In fact, same pain Krishna feels when it comes to us. We have ditched Krishna lifetime after lifetime. Every lifetime when we are in the womb, we tell Krishna, I'll practice bhakti. And when we come out, we just dump Krishna. We are like, we're not interested to practice bhakti at all. We are busy in our own world, enjoying, eating, drinking, marrying, without marrying. Yes, so people are busy doing all this nonsense and they forget that, yes, we have to do devotional service also to please Krishna. Now, just imagine how much Krishna will feel the pain. Krishna will feel the pain. You have just got into one relationship and that has broken. Yes. So, how much Krishna will feel the pain? Second thing that I want to tell here is this relationship thing which is coming up. This is modern culture. This is Western culture. This is not our Vedic culture. Please understand. There is nothing called, I want to understand my partner before I get married and things like that. Okay, TK. After engagement, some talks and things like that is okay. But then in the college days, while we start working and things like that, coming together, saying, I love you, you love me, and all that nonsense, and then dating, going to some restaurant and sitting and talking nonsense, going to pubs and bars and dancing. Now, all this Vedic culture does not support at all, because Vedic culture is very clear. When you come in front of Agni during the marriage and promise each other by chanting various mantras that I will support you and you will support me and things like that. So the bond that is there between two people is not just the bond between the two people. Krishna is there in between to bond them together. Yes. When we decide and propose, I love you, do you love me? And the other person says, oh, I love you too. Yes, this nonsense. The people are trying to build bond between each other. And tell me, we mortal beings who have mood swings all the time, how can we maintain that relationship for long? How can we maintain that relationship for long? This is infatuation. There is no love. No, trust me, there is no love. It's just infatuation. Oh, he speaks so nicely. Oh, she speaks so nicely. Oh, the singing that capability of singing so nice. She looks so beautiful. He looks so handsome. Are Baba, where are those qualities? Are we discussing them internal qualities also? Only after marriage, people feel, oh, I've got married to a devil. One of my distant relative, she many people told her that don't get into this affair business and get married to such a boy and things like that. She didn't listen. Now I think it's almost 10 years of marriage, and whenever she meets us, she tells, I don't know why I got married to this boy. I don't know. So please understand, there is an age for everything. It's not that anytime we can do anything. Now there's something nonsense which has come up called live-in relationship. Without taking the responsibility, people want to get the benefit of it, or people want to enjoy. Without taking the responsibility of each other, people want to enjoy the bodies of each other. This is so nonsense. People want to do that. This is what is the modern culture. This is what is the culture that is coming up. And you see, that is the reason there's so many depression cases, drug addiction cases, intoxication cases are increasing. Teenage pregnancies are increasing. Is teenage an age to become pregnant? Come on. But all this nonsense is coming up, because Vedic culture is not followed properly. Vedic culture means you stay away, from the opposite gender, till we get matured. And when a person gets matured, then let the parents do the job. What are parents meant for? Let the parents do the job of finding the match, and then, when parents find the match, then, the person who is going to get married, he has or she has the opportunity to speak and clarify, if there are some doubts, likes and dislikes and whatever, and immediately get married. And after marriage, entire life is there, explore. Entire life is there. It was my parents' 30th anniversary, marriage anniversary. I was asking my mother, so how was the adventure for last 30 years? 29 years or 30 years. No. Then they were like, yeah, we are trying our best to understand each other. And after marriage, staying together, it's so difficult to understand each other. Before marriage, 6 months and 1 year, people will understand each other or what? This is a myth. This is a myth that people feel, oh, I want to get into an affair, and then I'll propose, and then we'll go around, we'll go to pubs and bars and discos and lodges and do all nonsense and understand each other emotionally, psychologically, physically, and then we'll get married. Our life will be so nice. This is just nonsense, nothing else. And I don't think you have to literally feel pain of anything. In fact, I would say you're fortunate, that you're not committing that mistake of premarital affair. In fact, premarital affair and postmarital affair, both are illicit. Both are abandoned. Both are illegal, according to Shastra. So I feel you're saved. And why feel pain for a person who has no love for you, who has no affection, no natural affection for you? Why feel pain for that person? Why not feel for Krishna, who is anchoring for us lifetime after lifetime? Why can't we build relation with him? Anyways, I can go on speaking on this topic. One of nice topics to speak and help people, but then it's already 8:05. So let's do mantra meditation now, and let's understand that feeling giving pain to Krishna from such a long time. Now it's our turn, to get back to Krishna, can build that relationship back with Krishna. Yes. So with this prayer, let's start with the mantra meditation. I request